Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Nitya Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitya Gaura Hari Bol Nitya Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Sitanata Premanande Hari Hari Bol Hare Krishna. Okay, so now we are going to dive deep into the Sankhya philosophy. We are Jai Guru Maharaj ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So we are going to deep dive into the Sankhya philosophy where I think till 30 also it is going. This is a quite big chapter. This is the 18th chapter or the big ones. So, but still the subject is very nice. All the subjects are nice in Bhagavad Gita, and this is something which we need to churn. So hope all of you started doing some homework on analyzing the aspects of these verses into our own life. Very essential to think and ponder over these subjects. Very important. Okay, so now the 13th verse, I'm going once more because in a particular perspective you saw, but I think we need to understand a little more. So it will be continuous lecturing. In between, we will have, after 2 or 3 days, we will have, in between, we'll have some discussion, group discussion or whatever, your presentation, but mostly it will be classes. Okay. Dehinosmin yata dehe kaumaram yavvanam. So all of you repeated this, no? That day. Did you repeat? This is a memory verse. So kindly repeat after me. Anyway.
Dehinosmin yatha dehe.
Dehinosmin yade dehe.
Dehinosmin yatha dehe.
Okay. Dehinosmin yata dehe
Dehinosmin yatha
Dehinosmin
dehe.
yade
kaumaram yavvanam jara
Kaumaram yauvanam jara.
tata dehantara praptir
Tata
Dehantara praptir.
धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यति.
Dhirastatra namuhyati.
Okay. So, translation, as the embodied soul continuously passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. A sober person is not bewildered by such a change. Read the purport.
Since every living entity is an individual soul, each is changing his body every moment, manifesting sometimes as a child, sometimes as a youth, and sometimes as an old man. Yet the same spirit soul is there and does not undergo any change. This individual soul finally changes the body at death and transmigrates to another body. And since it is sure to have another body in the next birth, either material or spiritual, there was no cause for lamentation by Arjuna on account of death, neither for Bhishma nor for Drona, for whom he was so much concerned. Rather, he should rejoice for their changing bodies from old to new ones, thereby rejuvenating their energy. Such changes of body account for varieties of enjoyment or suffering according to one's work in life. So, Bhishma and Drona, being noble souls, were surely going to have spiritual bodies in the next life, or at least in heavenly bodies, for superior enjoyment of material existence. So, in either case, there was no cause of lamentation. Any man who has perfect knowledge of the constitution of the individual soul, the super soul, and nature, both material and spiritual, is called Veera, or a most sober man. Such a man is never deluded by the change of bodies. The Mayavadi theory of oneness of the spirit soul cannot be entertained on the ground that the spirit soul cannot be cut into pieces as a fragment portion. Such cutting into different individual souls would make the supreme cleavable or changeable against the principle of the supreme souls being unchangeable. As confirmed in the Gita, the fragmental portions of the supreme exist eternally, sanatana, and are called kshara. That is, they have a tendency to fall down into material nature. These fragmental portions are eternally so, and even after liberation, the individual soul remains the same, fragmental. But once liberated, he lives an eternal life in bliss and knowledge with the personality of Godhead. The theory of reflection can be applied to the super soul who is present in each and every individual body and is known as Paramatma. He is different from the individual living entity. When the sky is reflected in water, the reflections represent both the sun and the moon and the stars also. The stars can be compared to the living entities and the sun or the moon to the Supreme Lord. The individual fragmental spirit soul is represented by Arjuna, and the Supreme Soul is the personality of Godhead Sri Krishna. They are not on the same level, as it will be apparent in the beginning of the 4th chapter. If Arjuna is on the same level with Krishna and Krishna is not superior to Arjuna, then their relationship of instructor and instructed becomes meaningless. If both of them are deluded by the illusory energy Maya, then there is no need of one being the instructor and the other the instructed. Such instruction would be useless because in the clutches of Maya, no one can be authoritative instructor. Under the circumstances, it is admitted that Lord Krishna is the Supreme Lord, superior in position to the living entity, Arjuna, who is a forgetful soul deluded by Maya. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, here also very, very wonderful purport and things which are very important to understand. First of all, in the previous verse, we saw that Natvevaham Jatunasam Natvam Nime Janadipa, where there was no time that we were not present. So, first is eternity is confirmed. Second, individuality is confirmed. And superiority of Krishna and the multiplicity, plural of many, many living entities is done. So, here in this purport, Prabhupada is giving many nice examples. One example he is giving is the sun and the star. Like stars are many, but sun or moon is one. So one supreme personality of God is. So we first, before that, we should understand what are all the various aspects the Mayavadis can bewilder us. Many, many theories, they float it. They float the theory. Imagination can be unlimited, no? We can just imagine anything. And how can we argue on imagination? For example, if I say that there is an animal, it looks like a rabbit, but the face is like a camel, and the legs are like elephant, and I'm going to float a theory. And is there any meaning of you talking with me or arguing me? When you're talking with me, no, only thing you can keep saying that no, such animal doesn't exist. This is the only argument which can do from other side. But from my side, I will float. No, its tail is like a tiger. The leg, no, that's like an elephant, but it's a medium-sized elephant. But it is not blackish color. It is maybe a little bluish. In this way, I keep on floating my theory and confuse you. Whereas you can only one thing from your side, you can say such thing doesn't exist. So a non-existing thing, non-existing philosophy is being floated. Very, very dangerous. They can confuse you in any way. The reason is because they're talking something utopian or imaginary. For example, they talk anything about spiritual world, it's imaginary. They talk anything about material world, it's imaginary. But they speak in such a way that it is true. So, what are all the aspects? Here also certain aspects are being defeated. Earlier, in the previous verse, certain aspects are defeated. So here the single soul, the particular soul in the particular body, it is going to pass through the body, and then at the time of death, it is going to go into another body. So a person who is called Dhira, the explanation of Dhira is also given by Prabhupada. So definition of Dhira is also there in this verse. So that also. So one by one we'll see. Every living entity is an individual soul. This is already confirmed in the previous verse. And each of this soul is changing the body, his body in every moment, manifesting as child, sometime youth, sometime old, again child, again. You would have seen that famous picture of in ISKCON exhibitions or in the book Bhagavad Gita, that there's a baby, there's a little bigger baby, then the young boy, and then the middle-aged man, and then the old man, and he's becoming dwindling and he's dying. Again, the cycle is continuing. It can be in various species also. On one side, the species will be put. It can be any species. It can be a baby snake, baby dog, baby cat, or the baby human or demigod, whatever. So, but it's like the cycle is keep on going. The spirit soul is the traveler. But along with the spirit soul is also Paramatma going. That doesn't mean that Paramatma is merging. I am Paramatma. Like a friend is accompanying you during your travel. Same way, the Supreme Lord is accompanying you. That doesn't mean that God is in me. I am God. So God, see, God is with me is different from I am God. Certainly, these two are totally different. So, since every living entity is an individual soul, each is changing his body every moment, manifesting sometime as child, sometime youth, sometime old man. Yet the same spirit soul is there and does not undergo any change. This individual soul, the soul doesn't have young or old or this individual soul finally changes the body at the death and transmigrates into another body. So it is very, very sure to have body in the next birth. It's 100% sure. Either material body we will have, or if you have progressed spiritually, then we'll have spiritual body. But body is guaranteed. So there is no cause of lamentation by Arjuna on account of death. The game over, but another new game will start. This is guaranteed. Like when if there is a video game, you're playing the game and the game finishes. And what if you sit there and start crying? Oh, I am dead, I am dead. It's foolishness. You can just continue the game depending upon what is the point you have earned in the previous game. Will be then asset for you to play the next game. So that is called karma. So we'll learn about karma later, but still, basically, you should understand how the next birth we carry the account, and based on that account we are given. So either it's for Bhishma or Drona or for Arjuna, whoever it is, another body is guaranteed. So Arjuna is generally concerned about two people, Bhishma and for Drona. Drona is the teacher and Bhishma is the grandfather. And both of them like Arjuna so much and they are really fond of him. And they're good people also. Somehow by circumstantially, they were forced to obey by their gut feeling that they were eating from Duryodhana's hand, they were getting salary or maintained by Duryodhana or Kurus. So they were very sincere to the administrative heads. They were forced to do that. But otherwise, they are good people. So Arjuna was very hesitant only for these two people. And they are anyway going to get another body. So the body, when it becomes old, people cry so much. Oh, if somebody will be very, very ill and they will be so badly in shape. And people will keep crying, I want him to stay, I want him to stay. For what? Sense gratification. If they are great souls, they are supposed to stay because they are doing missionary activities and they are helping us progress spiritually and they are giving awareness to us in Krishna consciousness. So they are supposed to stay longer to help us. That is worthwhile. But other people, what is the purpose? A man, meat eater will be there and they'll come and say, please pray to Krishna that he should not die, he should not die. He's already 70, 80-year-old and his body is broken into pieces. Still you want him to live in that very same body. Whereas when the dress is torn away, the father will give a new dress. In another verse, we will see that how the body is compared to a dress. So in this way, so there must be a rejoicing because the death is not for crying, because the old torn away body is thrown away and a new body is given. So this is a Dhira will understand we are not the body, we are spirit soul, and we are eternal servant of Krishna. And if I don't complete, if I complete, I'll get a spiritual body. If I don't complete, I'll get another material body. What is the big deal? What is the big deal? So this rejuvenates their energy also. The energy is already drained and now it is getting rejuvenated. So every time they come, please ask Krishna to pray or pray to any temple. The person, when he was all right, he was eating meat, he never went to temple. But the meat eaten body became a big lump of flesh and the flesh is going to be burnt to ashes. That time everybody will run to the temple to save that lump of flesh. So we should be Dhira. Dhira means we should understand, okay, this is the nature, it has to happen. And any item in this material world has a expiry date. Go to the shop, get medicine, get any food item, you check the expiry date. So if there is a material thing, the material thing naturally undergoes changes. So whatever body we have is made up of earth, water, fire, air, and ether. And this is made of matter. And this matter will certainly have destruction. it may stay back for some time. Take any item. So if you have read accounting, in accounting there is a concept called depreciation. Depreciation, very interesting concept. When you buy an item, it is considered an asset. There is an asset and liability column. Asset and liability. So what are all the assets? Well, if you give a loan to somebody, that is called an asset because it will anyway return back. So it's not a liability. But if you have taken a loan, then that is a liability. In this way, they have some accounting in which whenever you purchase some furnitures to the office, you purchase anything, then what happens every year they will put depreciation. For example, this year they have acquired the asset. Fixed assets. They say fixed asset something something. And for example, they bought furniture. The furniture is worth 10,000 rupees. This year it will be shown as 10,000, and next year every year they will reduce 5% or some 10%, depending upon what the item is. There is a percentage of depreciation. So value of the asset keeps going down. Why? Immediately, as soon as you add the asset, immediately the depreciation value is also added. Maybe a little 0.5 percentage, and later 10%. Same way when we are born. So everybody, oh, how old are you? How old are you? They are not asking how young are you. If you have a birthday, oh, this is my 25th birthday. Happy birthday to you. Sorry, your birthday is not going to come anymore. The death day is going to come, surely. That is, you're walking ahead towards it only. There only you're going. So people ask, how old are you? Means the time the baby is born, it is 2 days old. It is not 2 days new baby. It is 2 days old baby. 10 days old baby, 1 month old baby, 1 year old baby, 10 days old, 10-year-old baby, and then 70-year-old man die. Finish. 80 years, 70 years, whatever. So old, the word old is started being used as soon as a person being taken birth or any item undergoes the depreciation. So the value gets depreciated because it's going towards deterioration. It's considered as a progressive march towards deterioration. You're not becoming new and new every day. You're becoming old and old every day. So this concept we should very clearly understand. And we have a short window to play. For example, if you're born in 1985 or 1980, you're born. So now it is 2024. Then it's already 20 years on the previous century and 24 years, 44 years, you're old. And then if you're going to live for 80 years or something, then already 44 is over. Half of the life is finished. The last half of the life in this realm of existence, we are seeing many, many items in front of us, like you're walking inside a mall. When you're walking inside a mall, you see many, many items. But are you taking everything and coming away? No. You have something in your packet. And based on that money, you can do whatever you want within that mall. So luckily for us, the mall is open to the entire material world is a mall where you're open with your karma, that is the money in your packet. And you can go and do whatever you want. You can go and play for some time, or you can buy something, or you can start a shop there. Do whatever you want with the capacity of your economic status. But there itself, Lord Hari's worship is also opened as a shop. And the most intelligent person will choose to go to that Namhata, that shop where the worship of Lord Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in various yugas and various dharmas will be there. And every time to establish the yuga dharma, there will be worship of God is surely there established within the society. Every time somebody comes, nobody can say that in my lifespan there was no Acharya. The Acharya Parampara is always there. But for a genuine soul which is searching after it, it will be visible. Like mall is too big, then you don't search. Or sometimes by the mercy of the Supreme Lord, it comes in front and the soul picks it up. So right now we need to see, is it available? Yes, it is available in abundance. It's available abundance. This is the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. So within this window of lifespan of our life, before my game over, game over, game over, before that starts blinking for us, we can do the best. So Prabhupada said best bargain of the best use of bad bargain. This taking a material body is a bad bargain, but the best use we should make, that not waste any time on anything else, but to loot this market of, like Jagai Mada, they were looting the market of holy place, it was mentioned. They didn't know it, and they were in drinking and alcohol and like this. But once they found it, then they started looting the market of the holy name, and they became pure devotees with Bhava and Prem. They attained it in one lifetime. They were the worst characters with the worst type of sins. A big treasure house was kept, not treasure house, a room was kept in the by the Chitragupta in order to punish these people. That many sins they have done. One full room was filled with the writings of the sinful activities they have made, and it was unlimited. And everybody in Yamaloka was waiting. Will there be a new hell created to punish these two people? But once they got the mercy of Lord Nityananda Prabhu, and they immediately took advantage of it. Same way, we have a short window of lifetime. We think we are eternally living. Somebody dies, oh, he suddenly died. Nobody suddenly died. Everybody is going to die. This is the truth. It's not that, oh, why Mataji is speaking negative. I'm speaking the truth, reality. It's so real that everybody is going to die. So suddenly nobody dies. Suddenly somebody lives. How we are living? Suddenly we are living. But our consciousness, that this is called false ego. The false ego is keep on instructing us that your life is permanent, you will live permanently. And we make plans and plans and plans and plans and plans to execute. And we don't even know what is going to happen tomorrow. You all would have experienced this very well. If not death, at least one step ahead towards the death. That corona. The previous day to corona breakout or demonetization. We leave the demonetization. That's another thing. Tomorrow corona breakout. Today, did you know? You had so many plans. I have planned like this. I have planned like that. One fine day, they said, tomorrow if you come out, you'll die. If you just come to the public and mix, you'll die. That's it. Death is waiting outside your door. Come. Come out. Come. So, it's just really, it's waiting outside our door. So it may be any time, but naturally speaking, people say that human beings live for 100 years, but due to the lifestyle change and everything, the people who have proper regulated lifestyle, they live for 90 years, 80 years. And my great grandmother lived more than 100 years, 107 or 105 years or something she lived. My mother's grandmother. I have personally seen her as a baby, my mother's grandmother. So in this way, the lifestyle properly, but otherwise, more than 100, very rare. More than 80 itself is rare nowadays. So we have, after that, we have to get out. First, we should awaken. We very seriously think that this life is permanent, very seriously, and work very hard with it. So such change of body account for varieties of enjoyment and suffering according to one's work in life. So here, taking advantage of Krishna consciousness comes later when Krishna is explaining. But right now, we should understand that there is certain suffering, there is enjoyment according to one's own work. So Bhishma, Drona, in this life, they are noble souls. So surely they'll get spiritual body or heavenly bodies for enjoyment. So there is nothing to so much lament that they will go to hell or suffer or anything. No, they won't. So here Krishna is asking, how it is possible that you get bewildered? That we are not the body, we are the spirit soul is a very, very basic understanding. like for example, Prabhupada gave many examples regarding this, which is very regularly quoted by all these ISKCON devotees, is like we say that this is my hand, this is my leg, so this is my pen, this is my computer, this is my bottle. So when I say this is mine, that means I am not the bottle, I am not the pen. I own the pen, or I mean, temporarily I may own it. So I own the watch, or I own the dress, or like that. So it is my possession. It is not me. So when I say my body is aching. So when I say my body, which actually means I am different from my body. Like it's my pen. So I am different from my pen. Pen is my possession. I'm possessing the pen, but I'm not the pen. Same way, when I say my body, I am different from this body is very clearly proven. So Prabhupada gives this example many times. He has quoted this. That how to easily understand that naturally we are speaking. Naturally, how are you? How is your body feeling, or do you have any trouble with your body? Like that, especially in Indian languages. Indian languages are little more Vedic. So in Tamil and all, they're very nice. In Malayalam, there is a very nice. They address each other. Like when it is Addeham, Saukyam, that body, how is your body? They'll ask. But when it is come to the Pujari, they say Tirumeni. Tirumeni means the respectable body. So in this way, they address each other as a spirit soul. And when they inquire about the body, they separately inquire about the body. Is your body feeling well? Like that. So this is all very casual. And if somebody is getting a good fortune, they say that, oh, he has done very good activity in last life. So he is getting it. This is all very casual talks. But this is called Dhira. Dhira means at least basics this we should know. So a person, a man who has perfect knowledge of the constitution of the individual soul, the super soul and nature, both material and spiritual, is called a Dhira or a sober man. Very exemplary definition of Dhira. I think there is one definition of Dhira which is given in Ishopanishad also, if I remember correctly. Okay. So especially discriminating between matter and spirit. This is very basics. Very basic of spiritual life. You're not a spiritualist if you're confused and if you're mixing all these things and you're presenting the philosophy or any of your speech is not based on the understanding that the material is totally different from spiritual. I am not the body, I'm spirit soul. In this which are matter, which are spirit, this discrimination is the very basic common sense of spirituality. It is very essential knowledge. So any man who has a perfect knowledge of the constitution, so what and all, who is a Dhira? Dhira is high class. So what are all the things? One is, what is the individual soul? And who is Paramatma? Who is situated within the heart? So I am also part and parcel of the Lord. The Paramatma is the plenary expansion and expansion of Supreme Personality of Godhead. And there are two natures, material nature and spiritual nature. Antaranga Shakti and Bahiranga Shakti. I am marginal. My home is actually Antaranga Shakti. But I have fallen into this Bahiranga Shakti. So both material and spiritual is called Dhira, or the most sober man. So sometimes you see some Babajis in Vrindavan becoming very famous nowadays. Everybody is becoming famous. And or many people, when they deliver the lecture, you can easily understand. Prabhupada said that we don't judge the elevation of spiritual life or discrimination of spiritual personalities. We are not judging based on the project which they completed or how much money they have, how much followers they have, how they look, whether they look beautiful or not, or they dressed as a proper devotee or not, or do they own a temple or do they establish a deity? No. Simply by what they speak. That's it. Only if you ask questions or if they deliver a lecture, you hear it and then you judge. Yes, no. This judgment. Certain aspects, yes. Certain aspects, no. Yes. This filter. So Adhira is not bewildered. So we should take the advantage or chakshu, the vision from Bhagavad Gita, from Krishna's giving the vision to us. He gave through Arjuna. We are very, very lucky to have his guidance. So when somebody talks about mind and thinking it's Atma, they'll speak so many lectures saying, keeping you in mental platform. You should understand this is not spirituality. Spirituality has to do with the soul and Lord Hari. If Supreme Lord is missing, spirituality is missing. That's it. How to behave with each other, how to forgive each other, how to be cooperative with each other. Krishna is totally missing. So it's not spirituality. That's it, simple. So any man, so they cannot, we see that some people like Babajis and all, they deliver lecture, they are confused between what is Ishvara, what is his Shakti, what is Bhagavan. So this separation, you see here, what is individual soul, what is the super soul, and also the Supreme Lord, of course, and the nature, both material and spiritual nature. This is material nature, this is spiritual nature. This discrimination, this clarity is very, very essential. And that person is called Veera. Such a man is never deluded by the change of bodies. So when somebody changes body, we see that somebody is old and they're dying with some disease and they are born again as a baby. We are just in front of our eye, we can see that happening very casually. Sometimes there is program in the TV where some children or a man will come and interview some children. It's a funny show. And they are asked some questions. Sometimes you see that the children speak such matured words, like a granny. The girl will be like a 5-year-old baby. But all her words and the way she is expressing, everything will be like a old nani. So how? Because the same nani is only born again and she is speaking. Nothing to be, wow, nothing to be very surprised. The scientists have found out, nothing to find out in science. It's a very casual, everyday activity. It doesn't require sin theta and cos theta to explain and need not a scientist come and prove it. It's a casual way of living we can easily, like for example, laddu is sweet. Will you call a scientist to prove this? You just ate laddu and you felt it's sweet. And you asked the other person, how is it? And he said, it's sweet, yeah. It's soft, sweet. Well, I also felt the same. So just we know it casually. We need not bring Einstein, this, that, and so many complicated persons. Actually, they are not here to, but we can bring them for service to Krishna. But they are not the authority to say, oh, the scientists also said, oh, is it? Scientists said that we are spiritual. Then I agree. Okay. Because you consider scientists as a higher authority than Srila Prabhupada or the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. That is the level of faith. And thinking very proud that I'm an intelligent person and I will consider scientists to be higher. And only when, if I have to present Krishna consciousness as a science, I have to quote so many scientists and that philosopher and this philosopher. Yes, you can bring them as a servant of bhakti, servant of Bhagavad Gita, servant of devotional service. Not keeping them as an authority to give sakshi, okay. And in case if they say no, will you say no? In case if they say no, we are the body only, we are not the soul. Oh, scientists saying that. So that is the caliber we are measuring. So it's very, very essential to have faith on the scriptures, and it is true. We can pratyaksha vagamyam dharmam suchukam kartum abhyayam. We can see pratyaksha vagamyam dharmam. We can see in front of our eyes somebody dying and being born again very casually. So the Mayavadi theory of oneness of the spirit soul cannot be entertained. So they say that, see, this Mayavadi is lot of theory they float, and the main part, I'll tell you, 2 aspects, which are the most prominent in their explanation. Point number 1, what they say is there is a big Brahman. Okay, there is one supreme, means it doesn't have a form, impersonal, and it's one single chunk of Brahman called Brahman. It's just a Jyoti, nothing else. And the Jyoti became small particles. And it went, the small Jyoti is divided. Each of the particle of the Jyoti is having a body, and that is us. And when we get, and the original Supreme Lord is only that particles. Divided into many particles, and each particle is separately there. And they don't have consciousness or anything like that. So each of this particle becomes, then what about the material world? The material world is a false illusion. Nothing exists but false illusion. And we are, the Brahman, the Supreme Brahman, is undergoing illusion, illusory understanding. So once it wakes up and comes out of this Maya, it's a Maya, due to Maya. Maya is influencing that Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord is nothing but the Brahmajyoti, and Brahmajyoti is broken into pieces, and they come under the influence of Maya, and all the particles are thinking that they are the body, and they are thinking there is a world, there is this person, that person, all imaginary. And when he dies, when he gets mukti, he merges back into the Brahman and does nothing. He doesn't do anything, and it's vanished like in the light, and he loses the individuality. So one thing, the God is not complete, is incomplete when the soul is gone into illusion. So where from Maya is created, that they don't have answer. Second thing, Maya is overpowering Brahman, so Maya is more powerful than Brahman. That Supreme Lord, Maya is, that is why their name is Mayavadi. Mayavadi means they're saying Maya is powerful than Brahman. It can put God itself into illusion. So if some power can put God into illusion, then that power is more higher powerful than the God, right? So these are all some of the concepts of them, the primary concepts of them, that this world is not true, that what you are eating is not eating. Me seeing you or you seeing, completely they'll confuse you in such a way that you will become so bewildered. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu very clearly said, Sunile Mayavadi Bhashya Hoile Sarvanashya. If you hear Mayavadi's these teachings, words, then you will become Sarvanash. Because they can confuse you in so many illusory theories. So Prabhupada, his major theories alone, he's breaking totally. He's breaking that. First point, the soul cannot be cut into pieces. It's very clearly mentioned in another 2-3 sloka. We'll see that how Krishna is mentioning the science of spirit soul. The soul cannot be cut into pieces. That proves that Brahman cannot be cut into pieces. Finished, over. And there was never a time I didn't exist, you didn't exist, and all these kings. So this proves individuality. And so, like, and very clearly Prabhupada is mentioning, like sun and the stars, or the moon and the stars. Supreme Lord is one, and we are many. And one more very, very important thing, he is energetic and we are energy. Antaranga Shakti, Bahiranga Shakti, Tatastha Shakti. Shaktiman is different from Shakti. So spiritual world, Radharani, all those are Antaranga Shakti. Marginal energy are many, many living entities, multiples of living entities, marginal energy. External energy is the material world creation and the Durga and her expansions and many Kali and so many. And they are all Bahiranga Shakti. Very, very clear explanation of what is Shakti, what is material nature, this discrimination. So here, this Mayavadi theory, what they are telling is there is only one single spirit soul is there. Only one soul is there. That is called Advaita. Advaita means there is no second. There is only one single. Dvaita means God and Jiva are different. Two different things are existing. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave the complete understanding. He is giving the full picture to us. How there is Brahmajyoti also, and there are living entities also, and there is Supreme Lord also, and there is incarnations also, expansions also, then Paramatma in the heart also. Like this very clear discrimination of making us Dhira. Is making us Dhira. We are not weak people. People think that Lord Chaitanya followers are very sentimental. We are thinking like that, but we are very, very clear about these matter, these spiritual items. Individual soul, the super soul, the nature, material nature, spiritual nature, clear discrimination and clear vision of seeing things. This is not Lord Chaitanya makes us Dhira, is not making us bewildered or sentimentalist. The person who's not accepting Lord Chaitanya, considering themselves very intelligent, are the most foolish existing in this world. There's nobody more fool than them because they are underestimating the teachings of Lord Chaitanya, who is Supreme Lord himself. So here the Mayavadi theory, sorry. The Mayavadi theory of oneness of the spirit soul cannot be entertained on the ground that the spirit soul cannot be cut into pieces as a fragmental portion. So that proves that we are not cut pieces of the Supreme Lord. Such cutting into different individual soul will make the Supreme cleavable or changeable against the principle of the Supreme Soul being unchangeable. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is unchangeable, axiomatic, original Supreme Personality. So he breaks into small pieces, then he becomes that. So temporariness, if there is a change, that means it's temporary. So the fool cannot understand what is spiritual and material, and they come to propagate spirituality. The fool number one, he thinks the spiritual world also undergoes change. That is fool number one. No reading, zero scriptural understanding. Mental speculation. So Prabhupada says there's two things he says, dangerous. Philosophical speculation and mental speculation. So the mind has unlimited opportunity to speculate. So any bogus theory can be been born from there. And we are not wasting our time to sit and discuss that nonsense bogus philosophy. We are clear about it, and the people who are eager to take it are to be preached. And we are not here to argue with anybody. It's a waste of time. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told us not to do this. In 2-3 circumstances, this had happened. One circumstance, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was crossing Kasi to go to Vrindavan. He was staying in devotees, with devotees, 2 or 3 devotees were with him, and there are many wonderful Vaishnavas and others, normal common people loved Lord Chaitanya and Varanasi. But there is a big crowd of Mayavadi philosophers, and some people are impersonalist. The difference between Mayavadi and impersonalist is very important for us to know. The impersonalist, they target Brahma Jyoti, which is really a part of absolute truth. And that's it. They don't consider us to be part of that and all that. They consider the Supreme Lord's bodily effulgence, Brahma Jyoti, to be ultimate destination. Thinking that they are approaching the Supreme Lord, they approach the Brahma Jyoti. This is a process of knowledge through which they do this. This is a little bit authentic thing which is described in Bhagavatam, where a person Bahunam Janmanamante Jnanavan Tan Prapatyate Vasudeva Sarvamiti Sa Mahatma Sudurlavaha. So that person, after many years, he'll understand, many years of practice and reading, oh, this Brahmajyoti is nothing but the effulgence coming out of Vasudeva. Oh, Vasudeva Sarvamiti. Like that, he will go and progress to the next path because he's not offending the Supreme Lord, but he's trying to approach Supreme Lord through a wrong means. That's all. But Mayavadi is Krishna Aparadhi. Mayavadi Krishna Aparadhi. So what is this Mayavadi Krishna Aparadhi? First point, God is formless. Second point, you are also formless. Third point, you are God. And if somebody questions, I am God, I realized it. Since somebody questions, how can you say you are God? Don't worry, you are also God. Don't fight with me. I don't have much in because you are also God. So we are all God. So then how we are God? We are having troubles, we are having crying, we are emotions. No, all these are false. It doesn't exist, you are imagining. They make the entire material existence as imagination. So it becomes like a comedy. And the person who lives here, he becomes a mental case. He lives in this world like a mental case. It's so obvious. When you eat a laddu, do you feel sweetness? Yes. Do you feel happiness? Yes. It is so plain, blank truth. And we are living here, and blood and flesh, and we are able to see each other. And how can they say it is false? So a normal, common man, he won't accept it, and this is not true. He cannot accept. And we know, even devotees, we are normal people. Ajibsa, people will sometimes present Krishna consciousness as something, how in Bhagavad Gita happened from sky and the Arjuna's chariot flew in the sky and they spoke Bhagavad. Nothing. You and me are speaking, just bring it to the ground level. Krishna is to the down to earth person. Is down to earth, so down to earth as Varaga Devi lifted the earth. So down to earth that his lotus feet, the footprints are all over the place. When he came Radha and Krishna, their lotus footprints are there. 6 years of fully in South India. They are so down to earth. As Lord Chaitanya didn't even wear chappal. All of us are wearing chappal. So down to earth Supreme. So Ajibsa imagination is not required, and spirituality is not unapproachable subject. It is for a common man. It is an approachable subject to common man. And if Krishna is speaking Bhagavad Gita, that is not to confuse us, but to clarify us. So I still remember before I became a devotee, I had Bhagavad Gitas and certain classes I have attended, whatever spiritual classes. They'll speak in such a way that such a confusing words they'll speak so that it becomes ununderstandable. And they say that the spirituality is ununderstandable. Then what? Why should Bhagavad Krishna, the Supreme Lord is coming and speaking to Jiva? Will he speak ununderstandable words? What kind of Upadesha is that? Bhagavad Gita, ununderstandable book. Just keep it in the puja room and do arati. I'll keep it in the bedroom and I'll read it. This is Srila Prabhupada ki jai. He brought it, Prabhupada brought it to the living room of everybody, Bhagavad Gita. Not just in puja room, like this. So the sentimental feeling or the people, the innocence is being misused by these philosophers and they confuse everybody. So if it's very essential to be a warrior in understanding clearly, first of all, you should not undergo this nonsense. And second is, you should be very clear, at least to convince yourself and increase your faith. It's essential. So cutting into different individual soul would make the Supreme into changeable subject. So the changeables ashashvatam, dukkhalayam ashashvatam. But Sat is shashvata, nitya. Ajo nitya shashvato yam purano na hanyate hanyamani sarire. Ajo nitya shashvato. We'll see that sloka also. I think that's also memory verse. Nitya shashvato. Every place Supreme Lord and the Spirit Soul is explained as shashvata. Shashvata means it doesn't change. So as soon as the cutting and joining is happening, that means it's changeable into state 1 to state 2. And that is not the character of the absolute truth. Like we saw, Om Purnamada Purnamita Purnat Purnamudichyate, Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamim Vishishyate. So first Purnam is there, from Purnam many Purnams are coming out. Even though many Purnams are coming out, the whole Purnam is not broken into pieces or reduce. It stays as a whole. So perfection and wholeness, this we saw in Ishopanishad. So the Ishopanishad has to be revisited again and again when somebody shakes our faith or whatever it is. Go on, just read the introduction and just the invocation. Only the invocation mantra you read, then you will be very clear. What is the Sakti? What is Bhagavan? What is this? Everything. As confirmed in the Gita, the fragmental portion of the Supreme exists eternally. So eternally we are separated. Eternally we are separated. Part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. There was no time we had merged. We are eternally separated in spiritual world also. When we get Siddha Deha, we are like gopis and gopas. We don't go and merge with Krishna. We don't merge with the Supreme. We are part of the Supreme as a family. The Supreme Absolute Truth comprises of all these things together. Like they say that the Modaka, some example I can give, just this is from my side a simple understanding which I was having, like a samosa. You have a samosa and there is a covering, and when you open it, there are varieties of things inside. The modaka itself is considered modaka, or the samosa itself is considered as a single unit. But inside that, there may be some carrot, beans, something. So many items can be there within it. All of them are part of samosa only, but that they are not samosas. The whole itself is called samosa. So like that, the Supreme Lord, Hari, Gauranga, is the original supreme absolute holistic perspective of the supreme absolute truth. And various pastimes are going on there within. So everything, the holistically speaking, that is absolute truth. As confirmed in the Gita, the fragmental portion of the Supreme Lord exists eternally, Sanatana. We are eternally Sanatana and are called Shara, Kshara. So we have a tendency to fall down into the material nature. So we are small fragmental portions, and eternally we are fragmental portions. Even after the liberation, the individual soul remains the same fragmental. That is why even if somebody is attaining Brahma Jyoti, still he will not lose his individuality. So he will feel uneasy there because he has nothing to do. Neither materially nor spiritually. At least in material world, we do some karma, bad karma, good karma, this, that. Something the living entity with the body is doing material body. In spiritual world, with the spiritual body, in Vaikuntha planets and Goloka Vrindavana and all, they are doing something. Some body is there to execute, the limbs are there. Temporary or permanent, some limb is there to execute something. So activity is a symptom of the soul. And go to Brahma Jyoti and just simply keep quiet without, I won't serve Krishna. But material world is Dukkalayam, I don't want material world. Hate the material world is not Krishna consciousness. Loving the Supreme Lord is Krishna consciousness. So this Brahma, the people who go to Brahma Jyoti, they hate the material world. But they hate Krishna. They don't want to serve Krishna. So they go into a place without the limbs, then they cannot be there anytime because the activity is bound with the soul. Jivera Swarupa hoi Krishnera Nitya Dasa. The Dasya is there, bound inside the soul. The character of the soul is service. It comes back to the material world and do some social service. Rather than live in Brahma Jyoti, they fall down. They immediately come back. They cannot stay there for any time. Very quickly they come back to the material world because they are not qualified to enter in the spiritual world, because unless one develops love for the Supreme Lord, one cannot enter into the planets. The spiritual planet, love is the criteria to enter there. Even somebody can be a stone there, but they should have at least admiration. At least they should admire the Supreme Lord. If not, they serve. Minimum. That love is the essential part. So, once liberated, he lives the eternal life of bliss and knowledge with the personality of Godhead. So, having a body, will have a body, and then we will not have a body, we are the body. In spiritual world. In spiritual world, we don't have a body. We are the personality. That is our original personality. That word is called constitution. The constitutional position means you don't possess a temporary body. Like a handicapped may have a machine to help him. But a person who is normal, why does he require a machine? Same way, in the material world, we are handicapped in every limbs. So we require this body, temporary body. But in spiritual world, all our spiritual limbs will be there. So we don't require another body, be ourselves or self-operative personalities. We are personalities. So we are persons. So what kind of person will I be? I'll be like that, I'll be like this. No, very simple. This material world is a perverted reflection and a simple sample is given here. So somewhat like this. So the theory of reflection can be applied in the spirit super soul who is present. So the Supreme Lord is reflecting. Like if there's a sun in the sky and you have many pots of water, on the floor you have kept many pots of water. But if there is the sun is shining in the sky, when you look at the pot of water, each of the pot of water will have a sun inside it. The same way, the Paramatma is also is the reflection or the original personality's plenary portion called expansion. And he is also situated with every living entity and every atom. And he's different from individual entity. This is also very, I am God. People, instead of saying God is with me, they say I'm God. Because they read some here and there scriptures. Even if they read some scriptures, they read here and there. And they read about Paramatma is situated within the heart of the living entity. Oh, Paramatma is the heart. That is why we are able to live. So I am Paramatma. And they think they are only Paramatma. So there is a discrimination required between I am soul, Krishna is super soul. So in Bhagavad Gita, we will see all these things very nicely. Krishna is explaining these concepts. When the sky is reflected in the water, the reflection is represented both in the sun and the moon and the stars also. The stars can be compared to the living entities, and the sun and moon are to the Supreme Lord. If you look at a pond, in the pond there may be a reflection of the sun, moon, and the stars. So like that, the sun is also there, the moon and the Lord and in the fragmental parts are also there. Let us consider moon as Paramatma or some expansion Mahavishnu. The sun is Krishna, like that. So there is an Adi. And then there is plenary portions of the Supreme Lord, which are individuals. But all the stars are like, but all of them are appearing, that reflection is appearing in a single pond, like that. So the individual fragmental spirit soul are represented by Arjuna, and the supreme soul is the personality of God and Krishna. So Nara and Narayana, there are two different personalities. The Supreme Lord and the Jiva. These are two different things, different personalities. They are not on the same level. Ishvara category, Jiva category. They're two different beings. They are not on the same level, as it will be apparent in the beginning of 4th chapter. We will see 4th chapter is an amazing chapter. Very, very important chapter also. If Arjuna is on the same level with Krishna, and Krishna is not superior to Arjuna. So, no, God and we are all same only. But Krishna is one soul, which has, they say that Krishna is the soul, which has realized he is God. Arjuna didn't realize. So, he's like Jiva, like that. So, if they both are on the same level, then why should Arjuna take instruction from Krishna? If they are all both, why he should be instructor and he should be instructed? Both are spiritual only, no? But they say that the Maya is overtaken with the Brahman. Maya is more powerful. Then where is Maya? Then Maya should be God, no? But they don't have answer for all these questions. Then there is no need, if anything is superior, it can overpower the Supreme Lord, then it should be greater, no? So there is no need of one being the instructor and other being instructor. So there is no question of superiority and inferiority. When they say everything is same, all the gods are same, all the paths lead to the same destination. All these are their theory. they say that all the paths lead to the same destination. This example we saw in Ishopanishad. And they say that all the gods are same. Actually, Brahma Jyoti is only the supreme, but we can worship the Brahma Jyoti in the form of Ganesha or some demigod or some tree or some another person as the wife. in Calcutta, there was a man, a very big ashram, very famous ashram. He worshipped wife as Devi, like that, or God only, direct Narayan, dressing her. These are all foolish. Somebody worships some snake, somebody worships demigod, saying that is supreme. But these people say that it's Brahmajyoti only, you can worship in any form. But as soon as you attain mukti, all this worship you should leave and you should go and sit in the Brahmajyoti. Doing what? Doing nothing. Doing nothing. The child is sitting in the womb doing nothing. At least the child is breathing. Its limbs are growing, something is happening at least. So, and when it comes out, it cries, it cries like anything. So suffering. If just imagine yourself, you are asked to sit in one place just for 1 hour. You become so restless. And eternally you have to sit without doing anything in one place. Who will just do this? We are full of life. We are full of varieties. We are full of activities. Only thing is we are in the wrong place with a temporary lifestyle. Whereas we need to go into a permanent lifestyle. Not for our enjoyment, but it's our constitutional position. It's our nature, so we feel comfortable. Like a fish in the water. Oh, put the fish in the water, let it enjoy. Excuse me, it is a living circumstance for the fish. So what is enjoyable is as natural it is. I'm enjoying my job. If somebody says that I'm enjoying a job, which means they're doing something which is natural or easy, which they already know they are comfortable with the situation. That is what it means. So being yourself is the best position one can be in. So under the circumstance, it is admitted that Lord Krishna is the Supreme Lord, superior in position to the living entity, Arjuna. He is superior. Arjuna is inferior. Arjuna is in confusion. Krishna is clear. Arjuna is in confusion and crying. Krishna is smiling. So actually, Arjuna is deluded by Maya, whereas Krishna is never deluded by Maya, because Maya is created by Krishna and submissive. Not created, it's a manifestation of Krishna. And she is also submissive to Krishna. She is servant of Krishna. Thank you very much. Is there any questions or comments? We can wind up here. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1,
Hare Krishna Mataji.
0. Yes.
So I was thinking, you just said at somewhat time earlier about the Maya and Krishna, that they say Maya and Krishna is not. What you have said that I was not clear. I mean, I wouldn't hear that. Just if you remember.
When? Where? Which class?
No, in today's class only, approx 10 minutes before.
Okay.
That they believe the Brahma Jyoti or Brahma
And they
and
believe,
Maya.
whatever they believe is mentioned here by Srila Prabhupada. But in other purports, he has also mentioned what is generally Mayavadi. Brahmavadi and Mayavadi are two different aspects. Brahmavadi is the one who thinks Brahma Jyoti. Normally, in Bhagavatam, the Krishna's three aspects are mentioned: Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavaniti, Sabdhiti. So Bhagavan is there. Bhagavan's effulgence is Brahma Jyoti, and Bhagavan's plenary expansion is Paramatma in the material world. In everybody's heart, and only in material world. Okay, in everybody's heart and in every atom. So Lord is all pervasive. Lord is there everywhere, we are saying. So how is Lord everywhere? Of course, Krishna is conscious of every living entity, because we are all part and parcel of him. So these three aspects are said. So for example, 4 Kumaras who were sons of Brahma, they were Brahmavadis. And later, when they tried to enter into the place where Kshirodaka Sai Vishnu is lying down. When they try to enter, that's also called Vaikuntha in the material world. Buloka Vaikuntha, it's called. And when they tried to enter, then Jaya Vijaya stopped them. Then they were never know the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but they know this world is not a place. They don't want to get entangled in the karma bandhana. Say they don't want to act anything. They want to do something spiritual. And if there is no knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and like we saw that in Ishopanishad, that Sat, Chit and Ananda are there. But the realization of only Sat potency or eternity is jnanis, they do. So this jnani, as a jnani, Sat means I am an eternal spirit soul. Why should I get involved in this entanglement? I will not do this, surely. I will involve in reading some scriptures or spiritual scriptures in searching for the absolute truth. That I will use my time like that. And yogis, they use their time in meditation. Devotees, they use their time in devotional service because they directly know the personality of Godhead, and they directly perform the activity of the spirit soul, which is constitutionally Sat, Chit and Ananda. All the three are involved in that. And Sat and Chit alone is involved during the yogic process, because in yogic process, at least the form of the Lord as Paramatma in the heart is accepted. At least the form is accepted. Whereas the first stage, which is a jnani stage, in jnani stage, only eternity, I'm not the body, I'm soul, I'm not the body, I'm soul. So only the soul aspect is there and jnana is there. They are behind jnana and they are not performing devotional service as such. And So due to which, yeah, due to which this Brahmavadis, they don't have a taste or knowledge of the Supreme Lord. So first time they see that there is some place there, and there are two warriors sitting in the doorstep. They are going there, the four Kumaras, and then the Supreme Lord is they curse these two boys for not allowing two soldiers for not allowing them inside. And later the Supreme Lord is coming running from inside. And the Lord has not reached the entrance. Only the Tulasi, which is offered in the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, entered into the nostrils of the four Kumaras. The Tulasi smell was so much beautiful smell, very high class. Just by entering inside, it brought a transformation in the heart of the four Kumaras. And that very moment, they started becoming a devotee. So only the Sat potency is there. So like this. So, and this is Brahmavadi. The Brahmavadi is in a process, but just because he doesn't have the knowledge, Chit and Ananda, knowledge and devotional service is missing. Ananda will come only through devotional service. So either through remembrance, prayer, worship, like this. Today also Guru Maharaj was telling about Ananda, how the Ananda comes by remembering, going, living in the Dham and going to the Supreme Lord and saying, Krishna, I take shelter of you. You're the only person. I fully belong to you. Just go and say this. Then, by thinking like this, a person is very in a spiritual bliss. He will be floating in spiritual bliss. This is the last sentence of the class. It was very nice. So, in this way, the spiritual bliss comes from this remembrance, this prayer, this chanting, like this. They are involved in various aspects of Krishna consciousness. Like we go to Rath Yatra and jump and dance, and we really feel very happy about it. Like that. That happiness is not the material happiness, it's Ananda. That is not experienced by these people. So when they are in a proper process, these Brahmavadis, that they reach only we can partial realization. We saw, I showed you an elephant. But Mayavadi is Krishna Abaradi. They are Abarad only. They want to kill Krishna. So they float imaginary theories. So we are not analyzing on the imaginary theory. Is there any meaning? As I told you, I am telling the rat has a tail like a cat. And you know what? The rat is also an animal, cat is also animal. So both should have the same tail similar. How they can have different tail? So the rat is also having. Like this, will you argue with me, talk with me or take this theory and analyze anything? You will become only confused. And their aim is to confuse you and move you away from Krishna. And they will achieve success. By you will become interested in knowing it more and more. You are moving away and away from Krishna. Because it's an imaginary floating theory. So what is that? Base of the theory, I will tell only the base of the theory because I am not here to confuse you. I am here to take you more near to Krishna. So the base of the theory is very simple, that the Krishna and the living entities are same, or the Supreme Lord undergoes Maya. These are all some of the prominent points. There are imagination is, as I told, unlimited. So Maya overpowers Krishna. Krishna undergoes Maya. Some say Krishna undergoes karma. He due to previous life as Rama, he shot the arrow on somebody. So he has born back again to kill Krishna. So he killed Krishna. In this way, they bring Krishna into a human platform, and same like Arjuna and Krishna are on the same level. Arjuna also undergoing karma and Krishna is on like this. Any theory, there can be many theories. But the base of the theory, why they are called Mayavadi? They are called Mayavadi because they say that there is Supreme Lord Brahman undergoes illusion. We are all God only. We are all also part of Brahman. And there is no Brahman separate from all of us. We all join together. The spirit soul join together is Brahman only. Then you can ask why I am suffering and all these things. No, that is your imagination. You are actually not suffering. Why I am hungry? You are actually not hungry. Then don't eat. We should take away the food from the body. Don't eat. You're Brahman, no. You're eating. You eat the shit. Everything is same. Sakalam kalvitam Brahman. They say that everything is Brahman only. Some people say that yes, in this world everything is there, but all those are Brahman. I am also Brahman, this is also Brahman, the chair also Brahman, you are also Brahman, everything is Brahman only. Then eat the chair. Why you are eating gulab jamun? For that they will come. That is why for these fools, only prasadam will work. These fools can be given only prasadam and nothing else. They are worse than animals. So because they are very envious of Krishna. See, they float these theories, these imaginary theories, and they say that Maya is higher to the Supreme Brahman, and now the Supreme Brahman has come under the influence of Maya, and at some point it realizes, no, I am God. As soon as they realize I am God, then all the klesha is gone. They will become mukti, means finished. They will become finished, and they will merge into the Brahman, and their existence is finished. You won't be individual soul anymore. You won't have an individual thought process, individual likeliness, dislikeliness, nothing. This is their theory. Some of the base of the theory, which Prabhupada gives in many purports, for us to become safeguarded, not to get into, dive deep into it. To safeguard us, Prabhupada is giving this understanding. So you should know what is Brahmavadi, what is Mayavadi? Brahmavadi is a proper process, and they are not Aparadis, they are not, that is the minimal understanding people. And they will go to the first standard child will naturally go to second standard, third standard. So the first standard child is okay. But the Aparadi cannot, the imaginary speculator is not acceptable. Anybody speaks anything or not from Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra cannot be acceptable. Because somebody may come and sit with you and keep arguing that Ganesh is the Supreme Personality of God. Then you will spend so much time and energy which you consumed through the prasadam of the Supreme Lord. You are spending time in reading Bhagavad Gita. There are so many souls which are eager to listen to Bhagavad Gita. So you are supposed to address them. But you are going and arguing because you have a taste for it. You want to be the winner. You are using Krishna to your glory. So Krishna is your servant or you are Krishna's servant? If you are Krishna's servant, give it to the hungry people. You have a prasadam of Supreme Personality of Godhead, which is the knowledge of Krishna consciousness, should be distributed for the eager souls, not to the offenders. Take association of the offenders, and you also become an offender. So you should be very careful whom we are associating with. And when we know a person is genuinely inquisitive, or he is standing at his point and he already has confirmed that I will not listen to this person, other person. He is very clear. And he is passing his time pass, he is using you. You can use the time in chanting rather than spending time with them. But if they are genuine people, they can be brought to my class or bring them to me. I will speak to them and tell you whether it's qualified to associate or not associate. That's all. Not for argument's sake. We should find out the genuinity of the spirit soul, whether they are really interested or not. When they are naturally offensive, then it's better to stay away. Give some prasadam. Animals should be given only prasadam. And animals are a lot more submissive. They are not offenders. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has warned us, Sunile Bhayavadi Bhashya, will be Sarvanashya. Everything will be spoiled. You yourself will become confused. They have the ability to do so. So he is warning us, so we should take the warning seriously. Okay. So before winding up, I'll just wind it up. Before that, there is something in the chat. Can you please explain what is Shunyavad? Yeah, Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Pascha. Shunyavad is little different. No, it's not same as Mayavadi. The question is, what is Shunyavadi? Shunyavad, is it same as Mayavadi only? No. The Shunyavad is zeroness, that they believe in the Supreme Lord, but it's not a clear theory, the Buddhist theory. Buddha only spread this because the reason is they were killing so many animals, so many unlimited, because in the name of sacrifice. So in scriptures, in one small portion, it was mentioned how animal sacrifice can be done. The scriptures explain so much about caring for the animals, that is all left out. And the people became, especially the administrative heads of the state, they became very interested in eating meat. So they keep propagating. The religious people also, they become interested in eating meat. So both this administrative head and religious people become culprits. Then the common man will also be misguided. So in those times, before Buddha appeared, it happened that this became very prominent, that in sacrifice, there are some mantras which you can chant and you can kill the animal and then you can eat the meat so that you will not get papa. Actually, you will get papa. Mam Sha. Guru Maharaj told very clearly what is the meaning of the word Mam Sa in Sanskrit. Mam Sa means Mam Himsa. You, Mam Sa. The joining means I am killing you now. You can kill me in future, in next life. I give you permission to kill me in next life. Right now, I'm killing you. In next life, you can kill me. That is the meaning of the word Mamsa. Next life, I'll be your prey. This is the word. So they were killing so many animals. So Buddha came. First of all, he wanted to stop them from taking up the scriptures and misusing. So he said, there is no scripture. Don't believe in the scriptures. We are going to live one life. After the life, we become shunya. Zero. But within the lifetime, as much kind as possible, we should be there. And there is one Buddha. The Supreme is also zero only, but Buddha is also, Buddha is the one who is preaching. So they became attracted to Buddha. In this way, he made them attracted to himself. Other than me, nothing is there. You just become my servants. So everybody became Buddha's servants. Buddha is Lord Hari's incarnation. And then he stopped the the mass killing of animals. Mass killing. So Nirvishesha Sunyavadi. Sunyavadi is non-existence of godliness, or a society where God is not spoken, or a society in which God is zero existence of God. Like if you take Western countries, if you go to some places like US or somewhere, leave out ISKCON. Other than ISKCON, if you go there, generally the place is so dull and dumb and everything. And it's godless. Even demigod temple, you cannot find no temple of worship. Even if you go to church, there will be graveyard behind the church, and there will be some drunkards and everybody like that. They also sit in there and drink some wine and like that. Whatever is so the godless civilization, that is Sunyavad. So Buddha, he intelligently made them godless civilization, and then he became prominent. But he is Lord Hari, so indirectly they were taken into this. So we don't accept Buddhism, we don't follow Buddhism. Prabhupada said that we need not indirectly worship the Supreme Lord, we'll directly worship Supreme Lord. So we don't take to Buddhism. Very clearly he told, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also telling. So that is at that particular time Krishna floated. So there are two things. One is Buddhism and another is Western countries. At least if you go to Gulf and all, there is some place where there is some worship is there. Some bowing down 3 times a day. Some worship is there. If you go to China or some Asian countries, some worship is there. Some bogus worship at least is there. Some bogus worship like dragon temple, something is there. Some demigod, something. But if you go to Western countries, it's a Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desa. Paschatya means West. So the Western country is totally empty. There's nothing there, right or wrong, nothing exists. And they eat and live like animals and die like animals. That's all. So that is Sunyavad. Okay. Any more discussion? We'll have a lot to discuss within this period of time. Maybe another 20 slokas. We'll have a good time. A lot of discussions. Keep some questions in mind. Some people have posted questions. I really didn't have time to see them. And whoever has posted questions, surely I'll answer it. Kindly give me 1 or 2 days. We are into some project right now. So whenever I find time, I'll answer all your, whatever audio you have put or some text, I'll answer. Because it takes some time to assimilate things and put it as an audio. So I okay, thank you very much. Okay. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। महाराज की जय। निताई गौर प्रेम हरि हरि बोल। थैंक यू।